This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back, everyone. It is time once again to look at some viewer projects that are sent in, and this first one comes to us from Claire Robinson, and I have to be full disclosure here. Claire's a friend of mine, and Claire also took my zine workshop. She took the second one that I did this year, and so I did have a hand in this, and I saw Claire produce it, and I worked with her one-on-one with some stuff, and she did an outstanding job on this. So I'm a little giddy because I'm really excited to share this with all of you guys today. To give you a little bit of context, I'm going to read her forward to her zine here. First writing the transit in Philadelphia was in 1985 when I moved here to start medical school. At that time, I lived in Mount Airy, and my school was in West Philadelphia. The most reasonable option was to take the suburban transit line to 30th Street train station. This was a necessity rather than a pastime. After graduating and moving elsewhere in the city, there was no need to take the train except for an occasional shopping trip via the Broad Street subway line to explore the center city. And of course, my car was the best of all worlds to get around and out of the city. As I've now become an elder in Pennsylvania, my new privileges allow free transport on the state's commuter network. This privilege is also a photographic adventure of the passing scenes as I began training the commuter rails. Herein are a few of these. So Claire's zine deals with Philadelphia commuter lines, and she did say in her note, and I love this, that unfortunately it did light the zine bug. So Claire, I hope we see more out of you in the future. This came out great. I'm so excited about this. A lot of the work that Claire did in here is we were trying to decide on what we were going to do with the pacing of these images. What was the visual narrative? What told a story? What worked well on a spread? I think she did an outstanding job in the end, and I want you to notice that she went for kind of a different layout, but she maintains her border frames which define compositions, and I remember one shot that we really liked that she was really in love with that we wanted to go full spread on this was this one, which was these tire tracks in this parking lot, and I love it. And this one goes full bleed on the spread. There are no white borders on this, and it was a great image to do that. It worked well with this panoramic format. I think she did an outstanding job on here. I love this too, where you have just this red spot of color over here, and it's what largely looks monochrome, even though it's two color images. There's not a lot of color in them. Claire, this is outstanding, and I hope you're really, really proud of this. I think you did an awesome job. The print quality looks great. She indicated in her note that she felt that a couple of the images were too dark. Honestly, I'm not really noticing that. I think this is fantastic. Every time you're going to get your own work printed, we're going to notice things because we have lived with these images that other people probably are never going to catch up on, and I think that's one of them. So because I don't know these images as well as Claire does, obviously, they look fine in the print. So Claire, this is awesome. I'm so proud of you. And as I mentioned, she was in my zine workshop, and we'll do some more next year in 2025, but we had a lot of fun in these, and Claire was an awesome student. So Claire, thank you for sharing. This is great. Okay, next up is this beautiful little book. I love this project. This comes to us from Karthik Samprathi. It's called Collection 1. Karthik also enclosed a tiny little note, which reads, Dear Ted, my first black and white collection book features multi-dimensional perspectives of life, which starts with a cycle of life and concludes with the swirl of life. It captures the journey of contradictions, highlighting human faith and beliefs, nature, and delights the soul with abstract perspectives of life. This book is a culmination of a decade's work featuring 60 of my favorite images, including international award-winning ones. I invite you to embark on this journey with me through my creations and stories here. With best wishes, Karthik. So, Karthik, this is outstanding. I really don't have anything to critique on here. I mean, it is just beautiful. I'm just going to point out some things that I love. First of all, I want you guys to take note of the kinds of compositions that are in here and how this fits in with the size of the overall book, which is very small. And I think that they both complement each other very elegantly. The style of these images, there's a lot of things going on here. There's some abstracts in here, lots of techniques with double exposure, motion blur, overexposure, high-key, low-key photography. It's all in here, but Karthik manages to keep a pretty clear style with the work that's involved. I also like the layout on here. There's a wonderful mix of just one image per spread. Sometimes we have an image that takes the entire spread. Other times we've got borders, sometimes black backgrounds, white backgrounds. It really has a really cohesive nature to the entire layout. And black and white is it is hard to do sometimes with these, and the print quality is outstanding, and it helps that it's all black and white, so you can kind of tailor the whole thing to that. I love the compositions. I love everything. I love these cranes in here and the mist, the squirrel hopping over the rock here. I mean, it's just, there's always a little tiny subject that is kind of swallowed with all these surrounding elements, but it still just is very clear in the final composition. The work in here is just amazing. Do yourselves a favor and go get a copy of this. It's that good. Karthik, you've done an impressive job on here, and I really, really like this. I can't wait for collection 2 to come out, so make sure you please send me one. In fact, I'll just buy it when you come out with it. I'll link up to everybody in the show description below, and please support your fellow colleagues because there's some really awesome stuff that's being done. So thank you for sending. You should be proud. All right, so we have a few more. I've got some very interesting portrait work with Open Studio portraits, as well as views of a stadium, which is a portrait on a stadium. So I'm going to get to these, but real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, who are the always awesome folks over at Squarespace. How easy is it to build an amazing website in a matter of minutes? Squarespace has you covered. It's dead simple. Head over to Squarespace, hit Get Started. You can start by selecting from an impressive collection of customizable templates, or you can do what I do, build your own. Something unique because, you're not like other websites. Give your site a name. Next, you can build your homepage. We'll start with a few preset layouts just to get us going. Want to sell products like books or prints? Well, you can feature those on your homepage. Create a few more sections if you want. Let's also give it a color palette. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and just get us started. We can change this all later. Next, let's select the typography choices. Welcome to your website. Everything is set up and it's all ready for you to customize. Squarespace is built on Fluid Engine, the next generation of website design. Select Edit, and Fluid Engine allows you to drag, place, and resize any element on the page. You can snap these to a grid, you can make them float on top of one another, you can freeform however you like. You can even preview and adjust how the site looks on either desktop or mobile. The layouts are independent. Of course, you'll want a portfolio for your work. Creating an image gallery is as easy as dropping a folder of images on your web browser. Once uploaded, you can drag to resort, customize the look, and Squarespace writes all of the code for you. Everything just works and it looks fabulous. Want to sell your own prints, books, or zines? Squarespace has the capabilities to not only set up your online store and collect payments, but they also give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful. Managing shipping and payment options, manage your orders, and engage with your customers. They even give you the tax tools that you need to keep things organized and stay compliant. You should try Squarespace for yourself. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. Just go to squarespace.com/AOP, sign up for that free trial. If you decide Squarespace is right for you, I can save you an additional 10% on your order by using offer code AOP on checkout. That's right, the code is AOP. So stop procrastinating. Go build your website today. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, so next up, we're going to have a look at Open Studio Portraits. This is a very quirky little zine. This comes to us from Jojo. It's like Madonna. There's no last name. But anyway, this is from Jojo. Jojo enclosed a note which reads, "Dear Ted, I'm enclosing my zine in contrast to the photo books I've been making over the last few years. My love affair with photography began in 1996, and although we have split up a few times, having done so, I feel compelled to crawl back to its embrace. It's just a habit I can't quit. Although fortunate to have a small studio, I use it more as an artist might rather than a photographer, in that I don't make commissions to indulge my whims, create sets, and let my imagination lead me where it will, usually within the world of constructed or staged photography. Finding myself at the end of one big project and the start of another, I decided to open up my studio and photograph those that applied. In the end, about 50. And any way they asked, at the end of each session, I made a few portraits using a 12mm manual lens. I wanted to try something as different to my unusually tightly controlled imagery as possible, so I shot gonzo style with my models wearing whatever they had from their previous shoot, and purposely not caring too much about showing what I normally keep hidden, namely bits of my studio, sometimes appearing to stick out ahead of the sitter, for example. I really enjoyed the experience of working this way and have decided to have 2 open studios a year where I set myself free from a normal way of working and try using a camera or a lens I'm unfamiliar with together with an approach to portraiture I've never tried before. Warm wishes from Plymouth, England, Jojo." So Jojo, this is very wonderfully quirky, and I love the idea of stepping outside your comfort zone and doing a small project and just putting it into a zine with something that you're not familiar with equipment-wise and trying a different approach to something like portraits. And I think it works really well. There's definitely, brings to mind people like Bill Brandt, or even when you talked about having parts of your set that probably shouldn't be in the photo, that whole revealing of the scene that Irving Penn did on a lot of shots. And so this is very cool. It's very different. There is a sameness to it, and I think it would be hard to do a full book like this, but I love the fact that it's a zine. The reason I say there's a sameness is that with the 12-meter lens, you have this particular emphasis on the distortion in the middle, and of course, when you put subjects in there, you're going to get a lot of foreshortening, and noses become really big, and everything becomes kind of a comedy effect. But I do like it, and I like what you've done here with this, and I love the idea of using the zine format to kind of spur some creative interest, and I'd love to see your other work. I've got to go check out the website. So, man, I really appreciate you sending this, so thank you for sharing. This is quite cool. All right, so next up is this little book called Views of a Stadium. This comes to us from Scott Fillmer, and I'm going to read you a little bit of the intro to give you some context to this. This is actually very interesting. But Scott writes, J.H. Stadium, Auburn, Alabama. On February 20th, 1892, the Auburn Tigers defeated the Georgia Bulldogs 10-0 in the school's first ever football game. The current location and structure dates back to 1930, when it was originally known as Auburn Stadium. The main structure was constructed with funds from the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression at a cost of $1,446,900. The book you hold in your hand showcases photography taken between 2008 and 2024 from the perspective of a fan with general public access. JHS is the living room where families meet each fall. In 2024, when physically printed books seem to be rare and elusive, I hope the process of turning these printed images finds its way to bless and brighten your day. War Eagle. Scott, this is really well done. This is a wonderful tribute, or a portrait, I guess, of a place. The content is very emotional. It's very nostalgic. There's a community aspect that brings everybody together. The one thing that is really interesting about this is, like, you're a very good photographer, and I think, mixing up focal lengths, some wide angles, some telephoto, I think all those things really do nicely on telling the story on this. The only comment that I want to make in here is you tend to show this all in peak season, which is a football game in the fall, with some exceptions. There's some exterior shots. But what's interesting is for the front back shots and some of the early ones is that you chose black and white. There's a wonderful shot of a woman coming through the rain, this one right here in the intro here. And I think those offer a very different perspective, and it would almost be kind of cool to see a part 2 of this where you start mixing in stadium in use, stadium not in use. But I mean, that's just a small thing, and it's probably because I like black and white images and I was so drawn to those. But anyway, very nicely done. You should be proud of this, and I hope it does well. I will link up to Scott and everybody else in the show description below, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them there. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, later.